Hi everyone. Today I'm really excited to share with you our important but also very exciting plans about getting back to school and what a return to school looks like for Gowrie Street Primary School. As you all know, next on Tuesday next week, our preppies and our ones and our twos will be starting back, and so there's some really important information about how that's all going to work, so that we can, one, have a really wonderful start back to school, and two, so that we can be making sure we're keeping our distance and we're doing all that we can to address any risks that still exist. So please take the time to have a look at this presentation and video. It's a great summary of everything that we're doing, and if you have any questions, please get in touch. So, to start with, a huge thank you. Our community has done an amazing job of remote learning. It's been so special to see how everyone has banded together to make this last 8 or so weeks now work so well. We know it has been hard at times. We know it has been really stressful at times, but you guys have stuck at it, doing whatever you can, and that's really awesome. I know that the teachers have loved still being able to connect so much with their kids and their families. They feel like they're connecting more with families now than they ever have before, and want to make sure they're doing that long into the future. So I think it's the start of some wonderful relationships and some wonderful learning for us and our students. So a huge thank you for everyone for their work. To begin with, some really important dates. So on Monday, this Monday coming, May 25th, it's a pupil-free day. So that's every school in the state is the same as that. There'll be no students on site and no online learning. The kids have a rest day, okay? And that's so that the teachers can be getting organised and as ready to go for these next few weeks. Then on Tuesday, May 26th, and the next day, our foundation, grade 1 and 2 students will start back. Yay! So exciting. For those few weeks, for the next 2 weeks following that, the 3 to 6 students will still be doing their learning online. Our teachers will still be working just as they've been working previously, online every day, supporting our kids, and we still expect to see all of those kids online in that time. On Monday, June 8th, it's a public holiday. Again, that's every school in the state and every business in the state, I guess. And then on the day after, Tuesday, the 9th of June, that's when our grade 3 to 6s start back. Also super exciting. This is really important. So all students in the year levels returning on site are to on-site learning are expected to attend. So from next Tuesday, we expect to see our preps, ones and twos here at school. We cannot provide remote learning to any students where families choose to keep them at home, unless there is medical advice that that's necessary and you need to get like a doctor's certificate or something like that. And that's the department policy. So that's what the Department of Education is saying has to happen. If you are worried about returning, we know there will be lots of mixed feelings about coming back. We really want you to talk with us so that we can help with that, because we really want to see all students back at school from Tuesday. And yeah, so please do get in touch. We want to kind of work through any feelings. There's some great advice later in this presentation about how you can support getting your kids back to school. So please have a look at that. There's also lots of information in here about everything that we're going to be doing to make school as safe and successful as possible. The next information is about drop-offs and pickups. And key here is that this is all about social distancing. And social distancing is to keep everyone safe. You're going to hear us talk lots and be thinking lots over the next months about keeping the adults socially distanced. That's what's key. We're not as worried about kids. Again, that's the direction from the department. What we need to worry about is the adults. So with drop-off, the times remain the same. So school will start at 8:45. That doesn't change. But this information is really important. So for those families who travel by car, if possible, we really want you to drop your child off at either car park and then let them come into school on their own. For families who walk to school, please drop your child off at the gate. No families are able to come in through the main gates or through the main office. You need to stay outside of school, and please just drop them off and then head off. So yeah, again, unfortunately, no one can come into the school grounds or to the office to drop off, and sadly you can't go to classrooms. After you've dropped off your children, please head off. We cannot have groups of adults around the school gates or drop-off areas kind of chatting and talking. We know you'd love to all catch up, but we need to move off and not be seen to kind of all stand around. If you are worried about making this work for your family, if you're really worried about getting little Johnny over to class, then please contact us. We'd be keen to talk about it. And you'll see a slide in in a minute's time about what we're going to be doing to help as well. With pickup, again, times remain the same. So the bell will go at about 3:15. Again, for those families who travel by car, please wait for your children in your car. For families who walk to collect their kids, please wait in the pickup zone, keeping appropriate distance between each other, which is going to be on the netball court. So basically, anyone who feels that they need to drop their kids off at school and walk them in, or pick them up and walk them out, absolutely okay. We know, especially for the younger kids, that's really important. Please just do that on the netball court. All right, that's going to be our area where we kind of do those drop-offs and pickups, and then the kids head in through the gate. Families, again, cannot enter through the school gates or go to classrooms, and again, please contact us. But on that note, we're going to have lots of teachers and other staff out at those entry points to make sure that students are feeling safe and are supported at drop-off and collection times. And that'll be especially important next week with our younger kids starting back. All our junior teachers will be out collecting kids and making sure they're feeling okay to go back into class, which I'm sure they're going to be really, really excited about, but also might be a little nervous about. So we know that we're going to, for any kids feeling that, we'll be there to help. If you would like to communicate with your child's teacher, so if you used to if there was something that you wanted the teacher to know, or something that you'd noticed, or you needed new books or something like that, and you would usually go and see the teacher at the classroom. Unfortunately, for a while, we're not going to be able to do that. So if you do want to communicate with your child's teacher, they would still love to talk with you. Please either call the school or email them or through Compass. The juniors will still have their Facebook pages, so you can contact them through there. There's lots of ways for you to get in touch, so please do that. This is really important. It's about the office, and the office is one of our areas where obviously we get lots of adults coming through. So at the moment, we're not going to be able to have that. So if you do need help from Joe or anyone at the office, and you would usually just pop in, but now we need you to call first. So no one should be coming to the school and into the office unless they've first called Joe to have a chat and see if she can help over the phone. If it is something where we need you to come into school, that's all right. Joe will sort that out and you'll be able to come in. But it's really important that we minimize the number of adults in the school and that you call the office first. You'll see, this is a poster that you'll see big versions of on all of our gates. And this is the number one thing that we all need to be thinking about as we start back, which is that if you are unwell, please stay at home. That goes for everyone. That goes for staff, that goes for families, and that goes for kids. So if your children are unwell, it is really important that they stay at home. And that includes if they have any symptoms, including fever, shortness of breath, or flu-like symptoms such as coughing, sore throat, or a runny nose. Now, we know that there's lots of those that can be about this time of year, so it's going to be really important that we're staying as well as possible and that we are taking this seriously, and that if we do have some of those symptoms, we do stay home still. We're going to have to follow a really clear first aid policy, and this is so that all of our families have faith and feel comfortable with that their kids, when they're coming to school, are going to be surrounded by well people. It's so that our staff have faith and feel comfortable that when they go to work, they're also going to be surrounded by well people. So ideally, we're not going to see any unwell kids at school because they're going to stay at home. But if a student does appear unwell, they will be asked to head up to the sick bay to see Joe or Cherry, who are our first aid officers. They'll do a check and they will contact you, and we then will be chatting to you about picking up the child as soon as possible. Okay, it's really important. That's a key precaution, and so please do, if your children are unwell, please do make the decision first to keep them at home, because otherwise we are going to have to be calling you. And also, we know that it can be really hard to, especially this time of year, heading into the winter, that it can be hard maintaining health. So we'd love to kind of, if you've got any worries about that, we'd love to talk to you about that as well. This is a really sweet little poem that another school put together around here, but we thought we wanted to share with you. So this is the message to remember, and kids, we want you to remember this too. So when we return to school, coming sick is no longer cool. Please let your child stay at home to rest, so when they return, they're at their best. We want to make the message clear, so nobody has anything to fear. No fevers, runny noses, coughs or colds. Please stay at home is what we're told. So just very quickly, there's a few other key things that the school will be doing to keep everyone well and safe and happy. Playgrounds, so students can still use playground equipment and other play equipment in the yard, like soccer balls and footballs and stuff like that. The key is that students will practice hand hygiene before and after use, and the items will be cleaned regularly. Hand hygiene and additional cleaning. Obviously, hand hygiene is going to be really important. So our kids are going to be washing their hands and using sanitizer lots throughout the day, especially before and after using shared items and before and after eating and all those kind of times. And there's going to also be additional cleaning. So usually schools get cleaned at the end of the day. We're going to be having cleans at recess time and at lunchtime and at the end of the day. So much cleaning as a big precaution. Drink bottles, it's really important. All students are bringing their own drink bottles. The bubblers are still turned off because they shouldn't be used at this time. Okay, so please make sure your child's coming with a drink bottle. Finally, obviously something that we always do at Gowrie Street is make sure we have a safe and positive learning environment. And this is not going to change. We're going to keep using our PBS values and our expectations to remind students of the important things they need to do to look after themselves and others. Some very important reminders. So students need to bring back with them all school equipment, readers, and any IT equipment loaned by the school. Schools need to be in full school uniform. So that's from Tuesday, that reminder. And students need to be in full school uniform. Students need to bring a recess and lunch. So unfortunately, there's no lunch orders at the moment. So when our junior kids start back next week, they need to make sure they're bringing recess and lunch each day. Brekkie program will be back up and running from next week. So they're welcome to go there. And all kinder students are able to return. I know you've already heard from Mel, but please do reach out to her because Mel would love to see all their kinder students back as soon as possible. A final really important message from the school, and this is our message that we put out all the time, but is going to be really important at the moment, which is that every day counts. So we want to be seeing our junior students every day from next Tuesday. The only exception is if you are unwell. So obviously if you're unwell at the moment, we really need you to stay home, rest and get better so you can be back as soon as possible and here as much as possible. You've done an amazing job of keeping the learning going while we've been doing this remote learning. We now need to pick it up a notch and do some really exciting, really wonderful learning over the next few months. Something that's been a big reflection when people have been learning from other times in the world's history where kids haven't been able to go to school and stuff like that, is that they tend to be fine, they tend to catch up all good because the teachers will now be focusing on what matters most. And that means, though, that we need to be seeing them every day. Something that you all would have experienced over the last few weeks and months of helping your kids learn is that our learning happens in a really clear sequence. And so that it's really important that they're here every day so they don't miss part of that sequence. So from Tuesday, we really want to be seeing all our junior kids. And in 2 weeks after that, we want to be seeing our 3 to 6 kids. We want to see them every day. In the meantime, keep up the great learning. 3 to 6 kids, and all the awesome work you've been doing. Thanks, everyone.